Well, welcome everybody to week 2 of the Health Challenge. I hope that each and every one of you are having a great time inside the challenge. Today's huddle is going to be action-packed. For the next 30 minutes, you are going to get some great information on how to win the Health Challenge and how to achieve your health goals and how to do it in a simple way. We're going to talk about healthy eating made simple, and we're also going to share some additional support options. And so for those of you that are struggling, maybe you have started off with the greatest intentions, but you fell behind in earning points, or maybe you've just made some unhealthy eating choices because of some stressors or emotions that have been going on in your life. We want you to know that there's extra support available, and there's a simpler way to get healthier, and you'll hear it tonight. Some of the tips are going to be applicable for those people that are trying to lose weight and trying to get off 6% or more of their body weight. And some of the tips are going to be applicable for everybody, no matter what their health journey is and how much weight that they want to lose. And so we're just excited that you're tuning in. Every week, we're going to be bringing you these great tips on a specific topic. The first week, we talked about healthy motivation. This week, we're talking about healthy eating made simple. Next week, we'll be talking about healthy motion made simple, how to get more calories burned. And then we're going to be talking about healthy sleep the fourth week, healthy support the fifth week, and then healthy stress management the final week of the challenge. So make sure that you tune in or watch the recording if you can't get the live version. So I've got a great panel of experts. You've seen some of these individuals in previous huddle ups, but I'm joined with former nurse, well, current nurse and certified health coach, Donnie Alvarenga. We've also got physical therapist and certified health coach, Mark Blancaspor. And we have Dr. Mark Nelson, a cardiologist and certified health coach. So welcome to all of our panelists. I'm going to be calling on them to talk about some different topics as it relates to healthy eating made simple. But before we get into our presentation, I've got a quick survey that I'd like for everybody to participate in. So you're going to see a poll that comes up, and I'd like for everybody to cast your vote on the poll. It should come up on your screen here momentarily. Cast your vote as soon as you can. What I'm asking you is, how are you doing with your healthy eating habits? Are you following your healthy plan closely and seeing the results? Are you doing okay, but you're not doing as well as you'd like to? Or are you struggling and in need of some tips? Go ahead and cast your vote. There's almost 200 people on the call so far live, and we've got about three-quarters of them that have voted. So if you haven't had a chance to vote, cast your vote and come back to the screen. We'll close the poll up in 10 seconds. Thanks, everybody. The results are flowing right in. And I'll share these anonymous results in 5 seconds. Great. Thanks, everybody, for voting. I'm going to go ahead and show those polling results now. So it looks like that we have about 43% of our live participants that are really doing well on their healthy eating plan. And then there's about 53% of them that are not doing as well as they'd like to, and I'm sure there's a bunch of different reasons why. And then there's some people that are struggling, and I think that you'll hear from the panelists tonight that each and every one of us have struggled at some point in our lives. And, we have days that we struggle or weeks that we struggle. So you're not alone. If you're struggling, reach back up to your health coach, your team leader, or the person that invited you, and have them connect you to the health coach and team leader. You may have just joined the challenge and you're still trying to figure everything out. Ask the person that invited you who the health coach or team leader is that you're connected to, and they will help you to get some additional support. Some quick contest updates. There's a couple of different contests that are going on the main challenge wall. You can find these contests in the right-hand side of the main challenge wall underneath important resources. There's the I Love It, Snap It contest. This is just a picture of a person or a thing that you love the most. Could be your dog, could be maybe some sort of a healthy workout program, or it could be a group of friends. And then there's the U+2 invite contest, that if you get yourself plus 2 other people to join, you can be entered in to win a fun prize. There's also the water bottle shot, and I see those pictures happening on the main challenge wall quite regularly. And then there's the weekly recipe photo contest. So there's recipes that are included inside the daily reading, and there's also some vegetarian options that you can prepare. So if you take a snap of your recipe and you prepare the one that we recommend, then you can post a picture of that, and then you can get entered into that contest to win a fun prize. In terms of challenge updates, one of the things that you need to be reminded of is the weekly points are only available during that week. So the weekly survey, the weekly webinars, those are only available Monday through Sunday. So if you don't get those weekly points before Sunday, you will miss out on those points, which will decrease your chance of being a winner in the challenge. So make sure you set a reminder every day on your phone to check into the challenge and to collect those points, especially on Sundays. You can go back and capture the points of the daily readings as you can go back no matter where you are in the challenge. All of the other points are gone after the 24-hour period that they're available. So it's important to check in daily. Remember, participation equals results. And if you get more involved and more engaged in the challenge, you're going to get better results from the challenge. We also only have 4 more days for people to join late. And remember that every time somebody joins, we give 2 meals to Feed My Starving Children. These are hand-packed meals that are specially formulated for malnourished children in orphanages and schools and clinics around the world in 70 different countries. And so we have a goal of 4,000 challengers. We're a little over 100 challengers away last time I looked. And so if everybody here, there's over 210 people that are on this webinar, if just everybody here invited 3 or 4 more people, there's a good chance that one of them would join. And if each one brings one more into the challenge, we can be really successful in helping to feed, or give more food away to people who are in need, and also help those people that want to get healthy to join us on this health journey. So in terms of invitations, Donnie, share a little bit about some of the strategies that you've done to invite some of your friends and family members to participate in this challenge, and how it's not about telling them that they're unhealthy.
No, not at all. The Meltdown Challenge makes it so easy for us to invite people. You have this screen up. And so basically it's just clicking a button, on the left lower hand side there's several banners that you can share. On the right side of the page, there's some templates you can share to send a message. But what I have done is I've actually personally messaged my friends. And I've said, hey, I'm doing this really fun game. It just helps keep me focused on doing the things that I'm already trying to do. Would love to have you join me. It just makes it more fun when we do it together. How about it? So, and then I include my link. And each challenger has their own individual link. And you could get that link right there on the left upper hand corner. You can copy it. And so what I've been doing is I've been sending a personal message on Facebook Messenger or through text message, say, hey, let's have fun together. And I include my link. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, thanks, Donnie. And again, remember that when somebody joins the challenge late, their points are prorated so that they don't have to have as many points as you do. They just have to hit the percentage goal, which is for everybody, 65% of the points available. And that'll show up on their wall as soon as they join into the challenge. There's a lot of people in the challenge, and I know that, Donnie, when you ran that weight management clinic for kids, you had a lot of parents that talked about their own health, as many of us have done. And we oftentimes come back to the phrase, I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. Right? And yeah. you had a little story with that, right?
Oh, yes. As you mentioned, I ran a weight management program for kids. So I was the designated professional resource. And so I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't do what I needed to do when life happened. I had twins and my life got flipped upside down, and knowing what to do was not enough. And what bridged that gap for me, from knowing what to do to doing what I knew, was having somebody hold me accountable. And what's pretty amazing about the Health Gains Challenge is that that's exactly what it brings to the table, is it holds us accountable to the things that we know. We all know we should get some sleep. We know that it's good for our health, but do we? And yet when we can earn a point for it, when we're held accountable to our teams, and there's you talked about several contests, and there's also a team contest, isn't there, David?
There is. There's many different teams are available to win prizes. So there's a team that has more than 75 members on their team. They're going to go for a $1,500 prize. And then it's scaled down. So 50 to 75 and 25 to 49. It goes, then the prize money goes down, but you get more money per per team member because there's less team members. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the team contest wall, go check that out, because if you have more people that are striving to get more points, there's a good chance that everybody's going to get a better result out of the challenge. You know, there's also the, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, what I love about that is that, you know, the way the teams are going to win is when they earn enough points. Isn't that right?
Right. So it's the combined participation score for each individual team based upon the number of team members that you have. So if you count up your team members and you look at your participation score, you can kind of get an idea of where you stand. And we'll have more out on that as we get closer towards the middle of the challenge. And as we get closer to the end of the challenge, we'll provide a little bit more of a ranking score just so everybody knows where they stand in that. But make sure that you encourage your team members. If there's people that haven't joined in, make sure if you're friends with those people on Facebook or friends in common, make sure you get them engaged. As we move on with the presentation, I also want to challenge some of you to maybe grasp that you don't know what you need to know. You know, when my coach said to me, he said, Dave, I know you know what you think you know, but what you don't know is what you don't know. And that's what's going to hurt you. And I had to take a little step back to try to figure out what he was talking about. But in reality, I knew that I should eat right and exercise, but I didn't really know a lot about nutrition. I didn't really know how the foods affected me. I knew that calories were important, but I didn't know how they were important. And so I'm going to go through a couple of true-false questions, and I want you to think about your answer as it relates to these true-false questions. I'm going to go through fairly quickly, and I'm going to see how well that you do. And we're not going to have any accountability other than just you reviewing them, okay? So the first question is the fastest way to lose weight is to eat 3 small meals per day. True or false? False. Actually, we'll talk about that tonight. But people who eat smaller meals and snacks 5 to 6 times a day lose more weight faster. And there's been clinical studies done on that over and over and over again. So we'll talk a little bit more about that tonight. But did you know that? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you thought 3 meals a day was a better strategy. To lose 1 pound of fat per week, you must burn 2,500 calories more than you consume. 2,500 calories to burn 1 pound of fat, true or false? False. The correct answer is 3,500 calories. So now let's talk a little bit more about burning 3,500 calories. To burn 3,500 calories, the average person would have to run a full marathon, 26.2 miles. True or false? True. The average person would burn 3,500 calories or 1 pound of fat running 26.2 miles. Now, that may be a little bit discouraging for those of you that need to lose 10 pounds in the challenge or 15 pounds, but that is a true average number based on the average American. Here's another good one. If you eat 100 calories a day more than your body burns every day for 1 year, you'll gain 2 to 3 pounds. True or false? Answer is false. 100 calories a day times 365 days equals 36,500 excess calories, or about 10 pounds of excess fat. So, 100 calories extra here, 100 calories extra there can make a difference in losing 10 pounds or gaining 10 pounds. Another good question to know is 1 in 3 Americans will develop diabetes as an adult. The most important thing that you can do to lower your risk is to maintain a healthy body weight. True or false? True. A healthy weight significantly decreases the risk of diabetes, cancer, and heart disease. And for those of you who have children or grandchildren, 1 in 3 Americans and 50% of Americans have diabetes, type 2 diabetes, or pre-diabetes. So if you can hear the train a-coming, you can start to change that for your legacy. Approximately 50% of Americans are overweight or obese. I jumped to the answer, but the answer is false. Recent statistics show that 70% of Americans are at least 30 pounds overweight or obese. And if the trends continue, the number will rise to 90% by the year 2032, which is not far away. So maybe there's some questions in here that you didn't know, or maybe you thought you knew the answer but weren't true. There may be some more stuff that you don't know, such as, what equals 100 calories? Each one of these items is 100 calories. 3 bell peppers, 2 cucumbers, 13 French fries. That's not very many. 40 grapes, 8 peanut M&Ms. That's not the king size. I don't even know if that's the fun size. 1/9 of a box of mac and cheese. Remember, you used to eat that whole box when you were maybe in college? How about a granola bar or 1 tablespoon of Nutella? 2.5 cups of popcorn, a half a Pop-Tart. That's a little discouraging. 1/4 cup of ramen noodles, and if you're a Sour Patch Kids fan, 11 of them. But not all calories are equal. Some of those calories are straight sugar calories, which affect your blood sugar levels, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how that affects us. But I want to throw it over to Donnie because she ran a health and a weight management for kids about the importance of education and the idea of rewiring our brains like we're doing as a part of this health challenge and learning from Dr. Anderson's Habits of Health book with our daily readings and our videos and our sketch videos. Donnie, talk a little bit more about how education plays a role in the long-term benefits of health.
Well, knowing what to do is part of it, right? What we want to do with this challenge and with this program is really to empower people to be healthy. Some people need to lose weight. Some people want to maintain and just take their health to the next level. But as you were talking about before, like G.I. Joe used to say, right? Knowing is half the battle. And so knowing is definitely important. And through the challenge, we're getting little nuggets all the way along to help us apply what we know. So knowing is half, application is the other half.
So I'm going to throw it over to Dr. Nelson, and I'm going to just, break open this idea of even though it's simple to do, it's also simple not to do it. And, if these are the simple matters of healthy eating, Dr. Nelson, why is it so hard for people to do it consistently to reach their healthy weight and to maintain a healthy body weight?
And I think most of all, it's, let me just make sure, yeah, you can hear me. So most of all, it's because we live in a chaotic, busy world. Our lives are frenetic. And the time it takes to prepare small, healthy fuelings actually can be more time than people have. And there are also a lot of distractions and a lot of temptations. And so, I think the biggest challenge is finding meals that actually give us adequate protein, adequate nutrients. Carb balanced is really important. We're going to talk about high and low glycemic because there are carbs that make us fat and carbs that make us healthy. And, to have that combination together can take some effort. So it's not that it can't be done, but I prefer having things that I can grab and go because I'm pretty busy. So that for me makes all the difference because I have things to do during the day, and I don't want to have to be focusing on making stuff that's healthy. Not that I never do that. Margaret's a great cook. She makes a lean and green. We had one for dinner tonight. It was delicious. But I'm not a cook. I'd rather not spend my time putting this stuff together. So it's easy to know what to do, but actually doing this can be a challenge. So we can simplify that for people. For me, at least, that's made a huge difference. And I think it does make a difference. When things are easy to do, we're more likely to do them.
Yeah, and a lot of the challengers are involved in our health coaching program, the Take Shape for Life program. And, the challenge is just one part of that. And you get this amazing community, you get access to a health coach. But some of you don't have access to the actual Habits of Health lifestyle program, or you don't have access to the Fuelings, or maybe both. And the Healthy Fuelings are tools that are able to help you to take the steps to reach a healthy weight in a very predictable manner. The average individual that's doing our program is seeing predictable transformation when they follow a simple eating plan. And they're guided through this process in a personal health coaching approach. So we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about the health coaching program, but I wanted Dr. Nelson just to talk about the benefits of eating those 6 small meals a day and how that affects an individual's blood glucose and just the insulin response curve, because a lot of people don't understand how that works.
Well, I think there are 2 principles here. One is that, we are on the move all the time. Our bodies need nutrition all the time, essentially, in terms of when we're awake and active. So small, frequent meals, and this study by Jenkins showed it, and many others have, is much healthier, and the results are what we can see. Those individuals, even though they consume the same food, the same amount, by dividing it up into smaller portions, lost more weight, were less hungry, reduced cholesterol and blood insulin. Insulin is the driver, and that's very important. Chronically high insulin levels due to large meals or high glycemic meals actually makes us hungry, stores fat, and makes us gain weight. And if you can interrupt the cycle of chronically high insulin and normalize insulin and blood sugar, then you're on a path to health. And that's how we lose weight and maintain a healthy weight. The key to that is really eating low glycemic carbohydrates. And that's essential. The role that insulin plays is, insulin is the driver of our overweight and obesity and of the chronic diseases we deal with. And that's very important and very helpful to understand, because when you can break that cycle, you can lose weight and create health for yourself.
Well, we have an optimal health plan, and it is a comprehensive plan, so anybody can do it, whether you're in a position where you're trying to lose 50 pounds or whether you're trying to lose 100 pounds, or maybe you're just trying to maintain a healthy weight and eat healthier. And we utilize this program called the 5-in-1 plan, and many of you have seen people commenting on the team wall or commenting on the main challenge wall about the 5-in-1 plan. And it basically organizes your meal plan for you. So you have a structured meal plan, fuelings are delivered to you, so you don't have to do a lot of planning and preparing and portion sizing. And it makes it really easy for people that want to create those new habits. And because you're seeing very predictable results, it empowers you to continue your journey versus some of the people that are trying to diet right now inside the challenge and they're having to make their own healthy foods, is that some of them are calorie creeping. And they're not seeing that predictable transformation, because that 3,500 calories that they need to burn to lose 1 pound of fat, that may not be a very predictable number after 1 week of the challenge. Dr. Nelson, talk a little bit more about the efficacy of using healthy fuelings and healthy products that are done for you, because some people have an issue about processed food.
Well, I mean, look, unless you're grabbing a potato out of the ground or a turnip or a radish, you're eating processed food. The question is, what do we mean by that? The issue with processed foods, as we all know, that we object to are foods that are high in sugar, high in fructose corn syrup, refined carbs, white bread, white flour, calorie-rich, nutrient-sparse. Then again, they're foods that are made and meal replacements and fuelings that are made that can be exceptionally healthy. So it's important to get past the label and understand, what are we talking about? The reason I grabbed a hold of these fuelings from my patients when I was practicing cardiology, because when you say predictable results, people may say, well, what are you talking about? Well, what I can tell you as a cardiologist in terms of my experiences when people did this program at work, what did that mean? Didn't matter whether they thought it was going to work, it worked, because it's thermodynamics. They were getting nutrients that they needed, calories restricted, weren't hungry, protected muscle mass, and they lost weight. Now, people lost weight at different phases, or they could use the meals to maintain weight. But these are very powerful because, you don't have to do all the work to get the healthy nutrition. And again, if you're staying at home all day and you love to cook, maybe you can do all this stuff yourself. Most people aren't in that situation. They got a busy day.
Well, we do have the one in the 5-in-1 plan where people are making their own lean and green, which you referenced earlier, which is just lean protein, 4 to 7 ounces of lean protein and non-starchy green vegetables, which helps with that low glycemic eating plan. And for those of you that don't want to do this plan or don't want to utilize the products that we offer, that's perfectly okay. But if we had people that were finding great success inside of a program and you didn't know about it, we would feel bad that we didn't tell you about it. So I'm just going to do a quick survey, and I'm going to ask the participants to cast your vote fairly quickly here. I'd like for everybody just to throw in a statement as to what best statement describes you in terms of your health journey. We have a lot of people that are just challengers, but we also have people who are challengers and Take Shape for Life clients or coaches. And so go ahead and cast your vote. We'll keep the poll open for about 20 seconds. And while people are voting, Dr. Nelson, I want you to talk about the fact that people can make healthy choices with real healthy food and exercise, but it takes longer. And maybe you could talk a little bit more about your experience as a cardiologist in trying to recommend that people made good healthy choices and exercise, and what that difference was between referring them to a program where it was a little bit more structured.
Well, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, David. There's a lot of information out there. The question, and as Donnie said, I knew what to do, but I couldn't do it. It's connecting the dots. It's having a path where there is structure, where you have guidance and you really know what works. So, you could, if there's a forest in front of you, you can pick a path that goes through the forest. You can try to cut one on your own. It's a lot easier to go on the path that's been time-tested and proven. The reason I grabbed hold of this program and it worked for people was because they didn't have to figure everything out. and they found it easy and simple. And so where they had struggled to lose weight or get healthy, this was much easier for them, and they were thrilled about that. So again, if something, if you can do something and it's easier to do, people are more likely to give it a shot and not be stuck.
Just from the people who cast their votes on the poll here tonight, Dr. Nelson, there's 15 people that have lost over 75 pounds on the Take Shape for Life program. There's 81 people that have lost over 20 pounds, and then there's 44 people that have lost 1 to 19 pounds. And then there's 45% or 45 people, about 25% of the audience that are not a client of Take Shape for Life or a coach, but are just a challenger, and they're still finding success. So what we're sharing these results for is to show you that there's some different types of plans and support systems to help you. These are some of the fueling breaks that are available through the important resources section on the main challenge wall. There's a whole list of 100-calorie fueling breaks that are healthy natural food options that you can plan, prepare, purchase, and portion size yourself. Or you can utilize some of the meal replacements as a healthy snack inside of a modified plan, or you can follow the predictable 5-in-1 plan. And I'm going to bring in physical therapist and fitness center owner, Mark Nelson, and I'm going to have him talk a little bit more about how he's been able to transition from losing 50 pounds to being able to use these 100-calorie fueling breaks as an active challenger, in addition to the meal replacements. Mark, are you there?
Well, as you've seen earlier, the study that showed the 6 small fuelings per day as compared to the 3 squares, the 3 regular meals, this is the secret. This is the solution right here. This is the magic. And that's what I found for myself, even as I understand my body, the energy levels, and what I need to do to fuel it. So you see a list of a number of great options here. And that's been my method now for 7 years. And it works great. I've got the energy that I need to do things throughout the day. And I don't have that 2 o'clock fading feeling in the afternoon. It doesn't happen at 10 o'clock a.m. either. It does start to happen about 9 o'clock at night, but then I know it's time to go to sleep. But these fueling breaks are a great solution to keep progressing throughout the day and having that consistent energy and knowing that we're continuing to move our health forward and we're optimizing our nutrition.
Mark, talk a little bit more about the 9-inch plate concept that we recommend inside of our program and how that helps an individual to really monitor those portion sizes.
9-inch plate, some of us might look at that and say, boy, that's small. That's like, a little saucer or a dessert plate or something like that. So it's an adjustment in terms of perspective. But what we find is that this, like you see here, the ratio, the 50% of vegetables and fruits, 25% protein, 25% starches, this is a healthy plate strategy. And then looking at that and recognizing 9 inches, that's all that we need. It doesn't need to be 11 or 13 or 15. 9 inches is a sufficient match.
And we have these different options for protein and carbohydrate examples. The meal replacements and the fuelings that we provide inside of our coaching program, they already do the combination. So they bring in the protein and the carbs and the fiber and all the essential vitamins and minerals into a done-for-you package. But talk a little bit more about how individuals can pair a protein with a carbohydrate to stabilize their blood sugars and also give them that satiety so that they're making sure that they're fueling their body with things that don't just satisfy their palate, but also satisfy their body.
You see a number of good examples here. These are healthy examples on the protein and on the carb side. And it's having a plan. I'd say, what works is having a plan and following the structure of that. And I'd say even as I've been working with clients over these past years, the biggest challenge is not being prepared. Being prepared, having ideas, having some variety, some creativity is going to enable us to be successful.
Yeah, and these are options that are often listed inside of our grocery list, where you can personalize your grocery list inside of the challenge. If you go to the main challenge wall and log in, underneath the important resources section on the right-hand side, it gives you a customized shopping list, which has a lot of these healthy options already inside of it. But, strategy matters when it comes to being a winner in the challenge and a winner in life. And if you need to lose weight, then you need to have a strategy that's going to work for you. Your expectations should not be to lose 6% of your body weight if you're not creating a substantial deficit of calories every single day. And if you aren't creating a deficit of 7,000 calories a week, you're probably not going to lose more than 1 to 2 pounds per week. So you need to have expectations that are in line with the science of weight loss. So if you have not had a chance to meet up with your coach and talk about your strategy, talk about how fast you'd like to lose it and how to do it in a right manner, make sure that you reach out to them, because they can ask you some of these questions and they can start to help you to get connected to nutritionists or other individuals, dietitians, if you have gluten intolerances, or if you have any kinds of medications that prevent you from having certain types of foods or certain types of products. They have access to nutritionists and dietitians to be able to get you the information that you need to create a good plan that works for you. We're not here to try to sell you something. We're here to try to help you to achieve your goal. And part of that is making you aware of the different plans and strategies that can help you to succeed inside the challenge and beyond. And if you want to go ahead and try the optimal weight program and try the 5-in-1 plan, there's some special discounts. You can actually get a $50 rebate from the program if you become a challenger or if you become a client before or during the challenge. And those are available, those rebates are available while supplies last. So if you'd like to get more information and just explore it, talk to your challenge team leader or your coach that has invited you into the challenge, and they can get you more details on the special scholarships available for new clients. And also, you can click on the right-hand side to access that coach. If you don't know who your coach is, just log into the challenge and go to the important resources information, click on that Talk to a Certified Health Coach, and then you will be matched up with a coach that's connected to you, and they can get you some more information. They can also get you access to a total energy expenditure calculator. This will give you access to how many calories your body's burning, and they can give you some sample meal plans that would be appropriate for you. This sometimes just gives you the good structure that you need to know in terms of what you could be doing to achieve the goals that you'd like to achieve in a very methodical way. If you have not had the opportunity to schedule a complimentary health coaching session with your team leader or a health coach that invited you, reach out to them today. Challenge yourself to eat every 2 to 3 hours for the duration of the challenge. Make it a habit to eat 5 to 6 times a day and to prepare those healthy fueling options that are listed inside the important resources section, or take advantage of the fast grab-and-go options that come with the Take Shape for Life program. And don't forget, take advantage of learning about the special health coaching program discounts that are available to qualified challengers. It's a great way to experience the program for 30 days and see if it might be something that's fit for you. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up. I hope everybody has enjoyed this presentation on healthy eating made simple, and we look forward to seeing you next week when we talk about healthy motion made simple. Thanks, Mark Nelson. Thanks, Mark Blankenspoor and Donnie. And participants, thank you for watching the webinar. Have a great day, everybody.